Deep October football at Davidson Field. A last push before the close of the regular season under the Friday night lights. And peek out tonight for the Tar Pit for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The San Juan Hill Stallions stampede their way into the harbor to take on the Sailors of Newport, who are trying to earn their sea legs as they continue their search for their first Bravo League win in 2025. The underdog Tar is looking to pull an upset here on Tar TV Sports. Justin Lee alongside my ever-fantastic partner, as always, Taryn Rodriguez at my side. The Newport faithful and the Tar Pit prepare to bring their energy, as always, and with hopeful words, which is what the Newport team is going to need tonight because essentially their playoffs start, Taryn.
Absolutely, especially after coming off a tough Battle of the Bay loss last week. A lot of factors play into that, such as the Battle of the Bay hangover, which is actually a real thing, and being on a short week. But the good thing for the Sailors is that they are playing at home for the last 3 games, meaning no getting on buses and no massive opposing student sections heckling you. But that alone won't win you games. You have to come out and play great in all 3 phases of the game.
The San Juan Hill Stallions for the last 2 seasons have had one of the best offenses in the CIF Southern section, with Timmy Herr at the forefront and showing 0 signs of slowing down. They came off of a solid victory against a highly regarded Yorba Linda team last week, 41-17, to become 5-2 on the season as they look to continue getting wins on the board going into the closeout. This season, they are 3 at home, but 2-2 on the road, which is something the 2-5 Sailors could take advantage tonight against a team that hasn't had the same defensive numbers as last season. The Tars will need a lot of help from Jake Muir or Jordan Spigarelli tonight on their way back, and Jordan Spigarelli coming back from that game against the Battle of the Bay. If he wants to get a jump on this San Juan Hills team, who, by the way, has 6 offensive players on the Orange County top 150 list.
Yeah, this San Juan Hills team looks as good as advertised. Coach Robert Frith has done an excellent job coaching this well-run and organized program, as they are a world-class football program. Last week, Frith picked up his 100th win as head coach, which is a testament not only to Frith, but for the San Juan Hills program as a whole. They've only had 1 clunker game all year, and that was 2 weeks ago on this field against Corona Del Mar. In that game, they turned the ball over 3 times, and they just couldn't really get anything going offensively. Fast forward 1 week after, San Juan Hills rediscovered themselves, and it looked like the team we all expected them to be. Newport Harbor will need to be at their best, especially if Jake Muir gets back on the field, or we'll see Jordan Spigarelli getting a second start. Someone that Newport Harbor needs to have a big game or get more involved of is Jackson Stremick. I feel he hasn't been getting the full potential that we've seen of him, and he's the Swiss Army knife of this team. Tonight would be a great game for him to go off.
And like you said, the Swiss Army knife of the team per se. Our team at Tar TV Sports caught up with Jackson Stremick to get his thoughts on the season so far. Let's take a look.
The transition from running back to receiver in this past year is a little tough at first, but all the work I put in and trusting the coaches in the play and my quarterback helped a lot in being successful this year. The rest of the season, we're just looking forward to finishing strong and playing the best football we can and just winning these last few games. To be successful in our team game, we just got to play together, trust our coaches, being able to have each other's back and know the guy next to you is going to do his job. It really helps a lot in being successful.
I think what he said about finishing strong is true. They can only control what they can control, and I know people are going to make note of the roster and the record comparison between the 2 teams. But Newport Harbor is playing with house money the rest of the way. They know they'll be underdogs, but that'll give them more motivation to win and to play and fight hard.
Well, let's highlight the important aspect of tonight's game for the Sailors, which will heavily be relied on that defense tonight to slow down this Stallions team. Glenn Bernowski, who's been the best defensive player on this Tar team, 77 tackles, 11 tackles per game. Ethan Ambat, who's had 60 tackles through the season, 8.6 tackles per game, and also that fumble recovery from last week in the Battle of the Bay. What's been the outlook of Newport Harbor's defense in your eyes, Taryn?
I think the defense is getting better by the week. It held Corona Del Mar to the fewest points it's scored all season. But that being said, the defense still is susceptible to giving up a couple of those splash plays on 3rd down. It just can't happen in the Bravo League.
Now it's time for the keys to the game. Tonight, the defense will need to pull some turnovers like we talked about. When San Juan Hills played CDM not too long ago, turnovers were a major factor in the Sea Kings win over the Stallions. Newport has had 13 takeaways this season. They'll at least need more than 2 tonight. Taryn, what's going to be the determining factor tonight if the Tars want the upset here?
Just like previous games, it has to be playing a full 4 quarters. It feels like Newport Harbor can hang with anyone, and that has been the case this season, but they just can't seem to put together a full, complete game. Did you know that even though Newport Harbor's 2-5 on the season, their point differential is plus 16? Their losses aren't a matter of lack of trying, it's just a matter of making the big plays on the opponent's final drive. Now it's crunch time for the Sailors, as this game has playoff implications in terms of finishing in the top 3 in the Bravo League, and at the very least finishing 500. In short, tonight's game and their final 2 games of the season could make or break this season.
We'll have it all for you and more once we come back from the break. San Juan Hills, Newport Harbor. The matchup is set here on TAR TV Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Tar TV Sports here at Davidson Field as the Tars take the field against the San Juan Hills Stallions, who they're trying to upset here tonight. And we talked about it in the pre-show, Taryn, and for the Newport Tars, there's been some struggle with some of the injuries. We talked about Jake Muir and what he's been dealing with, but tonight there's a few players who have some injuries who potentially might not be playing here.
Yeah, Wyatt Wilson is a game-time decision, as well as Shane McKibben. He might not be on offense. He should be playing defense, but McKibben not being a receiver is a massive loss for the Sailors. They're really going to need to improvise all the resources offensively, like Jackson Stramick and Ryan Palmer and Trevor Glenn and so on and so forth. So Newport Harbor really has to utilize what resources it has in this game if they want to upset San Juan Hills, because San Juan Hills, they could put up points on the board, and they did so last week against a very talented Yorba Linda team.
One of the guys that they've been talking about in the practice this week was Connor Merrick, who, by the way, did play a few snaps with Jordan Spigarelli throughout the past few weeks after Spigarelli came out of the 5-game block. So he might be somebody to look out for tonight. A taller receiver at 5'11", 160 pounds. They call him lightning legs for the Tars, so potentially could be a sneaky player to watch here tonight, Taryn.
Absolutely. This is big. This is a big game for Newport Harbor. This is pretty much make or break for them at this point. I mean, any win they'll take in the Bravo League is a win that they will happily take.
Kickoff underway here at Davidson Field as we're off. The Sailors receive the ball to start things off here in the first quarter. Thanks for joining us, Justin Lee and Taryn Rodriguez here for you on Tar TV Sports. So we'll take a look at who's coming out at quarterback in just a few moments. This offense has seen some of their struggles this season, but that passing game has what's been solid for them this year. 13.4 yards per attempt, 211 yards per game so far this season. It looks like Spigarelli will be the one to start off.
Yeah, Spigarelli did get his feet wet a little bit when it came to facing the likes of Corona Elmar. Hopefully he learned quite a bit, and hopefully his offensive line just gives him enough time in the pocket to either take off with it or throw. Because as a former coach would say, no line, no shine, or current coach.
Spigarelli takes off after unable to find anyone open. Ty Ditto at the forefront. And Spigarelli dives down forward for a gain of about 3 on the first play of the game.
It's a good run for him. I mean, he was pretty much flushed down, and he had to make something out of nothing. So good little utilization, getting 4 yards on that play.
Stramick out wide up top of your screen. There's Ryan Palmer at the slot spot. Ty Ditto, who's only had 2 receptions this season. 160 pounds, 5'9" senior. He's getting time. And it looks like Matthew Yamakawa is the running back right behind Jordan Spigarelli. The big surprise last week was the fact that they really didn't utilize a lot of that run game last week. Takamori 32 yards and Yamakawa with 5, including Baranowski with just 1, as they roll the handoff here to the young back as he dives forward for just a few yards. So expect them to really kind of use that run game a little bit more. And from last year, San Juan Hills, 85 rushing yards per game. This season, though, 144 yards per game in 2025, giving up 4.9 yards per carry.
Absolutely. They need to utilize all their resources. I mean, at this point, it's 3rd and medium, and so expect a pass here, even if it's like a short dump off.
3rd and 6, Spigarelli goes over the top. Intended receiver Ty Ditto didn't see it before he turned his head around. Ball behind him, incomplete. This will bring up 4th down, so 3 and out here to start off at Davidson Field for the Tars as they'll punt away.
Yeah, that's not really ideal for Newport Harbor, and unfortunately for them, the receiver just got cup blanketed by the defender. No PI by any means. So Luke Frith is back to punt, and that last name sounds a little familiar if you ask me.
The son of the head coach, Rob Frith. Almost blocked on the punt there by Daniel Rico. Takes a Newport bounce for just a second as it curves and rolls around out of about the 46-yard line of Newport. So good field position here to start off for San Juan as Timmy Herr Number 3, best quarterback in all of Orange County, is rated by the OC Top 150. Number 6 athlete overall in all of the entire county, as he steps onto the field with one of the best offenses in the entire county. We talked about it. You talked about Luke Frith, number 77 on that list. Kolazinski at 113, and then Ryan Matheson at 110, including that offensive lineman in Cooper Jaworski, who's number 27 on that list.
Yeah, this is going to be a tall task for Newport Harbor. Well, let's see what they could do on this first San Juan Hill drive.
3 receivers, 1 back. Handoff is to Ayala. He turns around the corner, breaking a few tackles before finally taken down by both Trevor Glynn and Ethan Ambat on the outside for a gain of about 6.
Yeah, Ayala, when I saw him, again, this San Juan Hills team couldn't really get anything going offensively. And Ayala, he did have a big fumble, but we'll see how they can do. This has kind of been Newport Harbor's Achilles heel when it comes to playing defense, stopping the run game.
So Timmy Hurt takes it on second down, finds Ayala on the dump off. Ayala has a good seam on the outside before being brought down by Glenn Baranowski. Like we talked about, they're going to need his shoulders tonight to really bring down that run game and help protect the short passes. But regardless, first down for San Juan Hills.
Yeah, this San Juan Hills team refound themselves last week against a very talented Yorba Linda team. For those that are wondering how good Yorba Linda really is, they beat Edison earlier in the year, and their only loss was to Tustin.
Another handoff to Ayala. There was a hole there for a second, but quickly closed up with Newport Harbor defense. Hatfield there in the mix for the tackle, including Baranowski and Ethan Ambat.
Yeah, again, Newport Harbor really has to defend the run. So far, it's just not looking good. They don't really have many answers for Ayala as of right now. They really have to shore things up here defensively.
Brings up second down and 4 for Timmy Hur, who throws down for the screen. It's to Luke Frith, who tries to cut through the middle of the field, and the Sailors pile on top of him as he gets down to the 10 inside the red zone.
Yeah, looks like that was a gain of 9 right there, and expect Luke Frith to be Mr. Everything.
3-star athlete, has 3 offers, Nevada, North Iowa, UNLV. Last year, 642 yards. This year, 619 yards on 29 receptions. As they hand off here on the inside to Dean Kolazinski as he goes to the outside pylon. He's in for the score. San Juan Hills stampeding into the end zone for the first points of the game.
Yeah, and that's big right there for San Juan Hills, setting the tone early and putting Newport Harbor on its heels to start. The other thing is, when it comes to the run game, keep an eye on Timmy Hur. He sometimes is able to take off and use his legs to get first downs and whatnot, just because he is that type of dual threat athlete. He's kind of like an Xavier Guest from El Medina from last year.
San Juan Hills kicking things off already here in the first quarter with their first few points of the game. The extra point on the way here from Kyle Donahue, 5'11", 165 senior, 31 for 32 in his career, now 32 for 33 as he puts the points through. 7-0, San Juan Hills.
Yeah, Donahue's got quite the leg. I saw him boot I think it was 41-yarder from 2 weeks ago against Corona Del Mar. He's got quite the leg, and he definitely is one of the highest regarded kickers in Orange County, so definitely keep an eye on him. Newport Harbor on the flip side, I actually did see Daniel Rico get dinged up on that punt, but I digress in that regard.
We'll keep an eye out on that injury for sure. Donahue, we saw him in warm-ups kicking 50-yard field goals from just before the game started, so he's getting his first few actions of the game. But we talked about that run game and what Newport's struggled to really stop this season. 5.7 yards per carry, 152 yards per game. Last year, San Juan Hills ran all over Newport Harbor, 171 yards allowed rushing on the ground, with Ayala getting into the end zone one time for 102 yards.
Yeah, again, this is just Newport Harbor's problem. They have to start shoring up the opponent's run game. I don't care what it takes, and that's probably the reason why they're just not as of what that's what their record is kind of showing, and that's no disrespect to them. I mean, if you see the tape, you just see that it's just run game, excelling for opposing teams.
Strema gets tripped up on the next kickoff here. He's up to about the 20-yard line. So Newport will come back out after a 3-and-out in the first drive. They'll see if they can try to put one together here. And last week for Spicarelli, Like you talked about his feet getting wet. 160 yards, 1 pick, 15 for 31 last week, but still looked pretty good up until that drive where he scored a touchdown, rushing on the ground, spinning around and getting into the end zone. The only score of the game in the Battle of the Bay last week.
Yeah, that was Newport Harbor's lowest point total of the season. Again, they have a point differential of plus 16, but against the San Juan Hills team, they're going to have to match San Juan Hills tit for tat.
Spigarelli now on first down. Will check down to his receiver. It's Ryan Palmer who gets tackled right almost to the line of scrimmage there. Chase Mason on the tackle.
Yeah, that was a great tackle read by the opposing team, and that's just something that you just can't really practice. You got to be fully aware of that, and thankfully for Newport Harbor's sake, they were able to get 1 yard out of it.
The big thing for...
Or did they get, or was that a loss?
It's like right about...
Okay, so it is a loss.
They moved the line of scrimmage about 2 yards back, so it is a tackle for loss of 2. So second and about 12 here. And it's a handoff to Yamakawa. It doesn't really get a whole lot there as he's tackled down by Bryce Bockler.
Yeah, Newport Harbor, their biggest issue is that they can't get behind the chains, and if they're getting into these third and long situations against a team like San Juan Hills, this is going to be a long night. I get it, Newport Harbor might be missing pieces in terms of their offense and whatnot, and it's probably some of their defense, but you just can't get behind the chains when it comes to downs like this.
So third and 12, no gain on that last run. Spigarelli steps back, tried to check it down to Yamakawa, out of his hands, incomplete. So another 3 and out for the Sailors as they can't seem to get their footing right here in the start of the first quarter.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that San Juan's going to get good field position yet again, because look how where Newport Harbor is. It's like it was the previous one was at least like 3rd and 6. This one was 3rd and 13, if not 3rd and 12. Oh no!
Nice snap over their head, and it rolls out of bounds. And it will be a safety on Newport Harbor. Not what you wanted on that outcome with the high snap over the head of Uncle Rico. So San Juan Hills will get 2 on the board.
Yeah, this is just not looking good for Newport Harbor. I mean, you just can't have special teams like that. And I said it in the pregame. You have to play all 3 phases of the game perfectly. But unfortunately, Newport Harbor just is kind of getting in their own way. So they have to really wake it up here, because now San Juan Hills gets the ball. They're up 2 scores, and they could really blow this thing wide open if Newport Harbor's not careful.
Cameron Hatfield, the long snapper for the Tars, pretty much just airmailed that ball over Rico's head. If Rico was at least 7'6", he would have been able to get that ball, but nonetheless unable to go grab it, obviously. And San Juan Hills will get the ball back, but with 2 extra points now up on the board thanks to the Sailors.
Yeah, again, just can't do that. And I think San Juan Hills had a safety last year. If not, it was Newport Harbor with the safety. Yeah, it was Newport Harbor with the safety. So 2 straight years these 2 teams have played, there have been a safety. So if you had that on your bingo card, congratulations.
So Rico will take the kick from the 20. If they send it to San Juan Hills, they'll still get fairly good field position on the onset of this kick. Last year, the only score in this game in particular was a 100-yard return from Cade Fiegel, and that was the only points on the board in a 30-7 loss against San Juan Hills last year. On the line drive kickoff here, and Frith trying to find a hole, stays on his feet for just a second and goes up to about the 45 of Newport.
Yeah, this looks eerily familiar. San Juan Hills started off at the 45 on their previous drive. Now they're starting off at the 45 on this drive. So Newport Harbor, they really have their work cut out for them, giving San Juan Hills good field position yet again. So it's time for the Newport Harbor defense to put up or shut up, because, again, this could be a long game if their defense doesn't make a big play.
4 receivers for the Stallions. Her hands up to Ayala. Ayala met initially, goes up a few yards just on this carry, gain of about 4.
little bit better of recognition right there from Newport Harbor. We already know San Juan Hills is going to loves to run the ball down the opponent's throat, and that's what Robert Frith said in the South County Classic and Passing League over the summer. Their biggest strength is their run game.
Timmy Herr play action pass on second down, takes a deep shot, wide open, and stepping into the end zone, Ryan Matheson for the score. San Juan Hills adds quickly, less than a minute into this drive.
Oh man, San Juan Hills just threaded that perfectly, and this is what one of the best quarterbacks in Orange County can do. You base against a talented team like San Juan Hills. And this is kind of what a short week does to you. You just don't have enough time to rest and recover and just try to prepare yourself for a great team. San Juan Hills had plenty of time to look at what Newport Harbor's kinks and weaknesses and fits and whatnot were against Corona Del Mar. So I think that the short week is really starting to hurt Newport Harbor here and now.
One of the things with the San Juan Hills Stallions last 1-17, it seems like they really took that loss to CDM really hard to themselves, losing 33-10. Coach Frith brought the coaching staff into the locker room, basically told the staff, we got out-coached in that game. And right now, it seems like they're out-coaching in the first quarter against Newport.
Yeah, and the CDM loss, Robert Frith also told me that they got beaten all three phases of the game, and CDM might be the most underrated team and the best-kept secret in all of California, if not Orange County.
So right here, Trevor Glynn takes the return, breaks a few tackles, breaks another tackle, running out of bounds. He gets up to about the 25, so almost initially stopped at the 15-yard line, turned into extra 10 yards after contact up to the 25. So another fairly good starting position for Newport, but they need to get a drive going here.
Absolutely, and you take what you can get in terms of special teams and kickoff returns and whatnot. So Newport Harbor with a great kickoff return from Glenn. They just got to capitalize and start building their offense.
So Jordan Spigarelli will hike out to the middle of the field. They're on the right hash. 3 receivers bottom of the screen, 1 on top. And there's Connor Merrick at the very bottom, one of the receivers that we were talking about in the pre-show. And Spigarelli turns around, finds Merrick for his first reception of the season. He takes a good hit at about the 30-yard line, 5 yards on the gain, second down.
Yeah, and that's a great catch, and that's a great confidence booster for Merrick, just because you need to get your receivers warm. I feel Newport Harbor's a little cold coming out, and that just can't happen.
Second down, pulls the handoff, throws down to the outside, got his receiver, Ryan Palmer, but immediately met by a sea of Stallions. No gain on the play, 3rd down and 5.
This is a big down here. It's third and fairly short, which I think Newport Harbor can convert. Look for them to try to have another short pass.
Spigarelli takes it, needing a conversion, goes deep on the other side, almost dropped it in the bucket for Stremick, but just a few inches in front of him as it goes out of his hands. Incomplete.
Yeah, and look, so much for my little prediction right there. And it looks like Stremick is a little gimpy, and that is not what you want to see from Newport Harbor. As I always say in the previous broadcast, sometimes you got to go for the singles before you can hit the home run balls, and yeah, this is something you don't want to see if you're Newport Harbor.
They're already essentially down of McKibben and Wyatt Wilson, who we haven't really seen on the field yet. It's another 3rd and out for Newport Harbor. Still unable to put on a drive. No first down conversions yet, as they will punt away for the 3rd time. Better snap here on this one. A little bit of a roller, knocks into one of the San Juan Hills players. Hatfield almost there for a second, and now a pile on top of the ball. It looks like San Juan Hills was able to get it back. Goodness.
I was kind of my thing right there when it came to that kick. I thought that kick was pretty short, and it took a nice little bounce, and conveniently it landed off the San Juan Hills player, but inconveniently for Newport Harbor, the Stallions recovered.
Better field position for San Juan still, but they're backed up. Instead of inside Newport territory where they'll start at the 42-yard line. You see on the replay there, nearly Hatfield had it, which would have been huge for Newport, needing a kickstarter in this game. But regardless, Timmy Herr is back out on the field.
This is the worst starting field position for San Juan Hills so far.
Double end around flip as they toss it off to Frith, and he's immediately met by Newport Harbor, Baranowski, and James Callahan there to stop a short gain, just 3 yards on that first play.
Yeah, Newport Harbor's not really known to get tricked by some of these trick plays, so I think for Newport Harbor they did a great job of reading that. Now it's just a matter of making the big plays defensively.
2nd down and 7 from the 45. Herr puts it up, got his man. It's Matheson again for his 2nd reception of the night. He's into Newport territory and more.
That's just a great pass by Herr. Great recognition right there. He saw Matheson had a step or two ahead of his defender, and he decided to swing while the axe was sharp.
They put it in a great spot, and this is what CDM was doing last week too, going after Garrido on the outside, and they hand off here on the first play after the big reception to Matheson.
That previous reception, I think, was 30 yards.
Davis with the jet sweep gets a gain of about 5, and San Juan Hills per rush play so far, right around that 5 to 6 yard average per run play. Really not needing to throw it, but Timmy Herr throws it here and finds Frith, who's inside the 5.
Yeah, another great pass by Timmy Herr. It just continues to be methodical and whatnot.
Geiger Danoon is into the game now as Callahan runs off. 4 receivers for San Juan Hills. Timmy Herr, a lot of time. Finds the middle of the pocket for Cooper Chila for the score.
That was just great recognition by Herr. He has many options to choose from, and he chose Chila of all people. So I think that just goes to show that's a testament of Timmy Herr. I've seen him play against this Newport Harbor team in the past, and he just continues to just burn them.
That's Chila's 2nd touchdown reception of the season. Only had 6 receptions so far. Now he's got a 7th. And San Juan Hills, with this extra point, 23 unanswered points. And it's only the first quarter. And it's a fake.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
they give it to number 3, Chila, who runs it into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
Well, you said 23 points. I think that might have been an announcer's jinx for Newport Harbor. So now it's a 2-point conversion right there. So it's now 24.
Many of my colleagues who watch a lot of these games will tell me that's pretty much my bread and butter, is jinxing the players on the field. So apologies to Newport, but 24 points on the board, unanswered. Newport Harbor, all 3 and out so far tonight, need a massive drive here with 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
And you and I actually saw this fake extra point last night against Edison when they were down by quite a bit. They were going to line up to go for the extra point, but then they decided, well, they were going to line up to go for 2, and then they would just go back into extra point formation, but they were able to get off some sort of attempt, try to run up the middle, but Los Alamitos snuffed that one out.
Yeah, big game last night at SoFi Stadium at 5 p.m. Los Alamitos against Edison. Los Alamitos exploded in the second half, beating Edison 41-22 to remain undefeated, trying to repeat what the 1998 team did long ago. And Los Alamitos looking like the forefront with Mission Viejo there in the Alpha League. That will be a really big matchup at the end of the season.
Absolutely, and it was great seeing you last night, but to the situation at hand right now, Newport Harbor will have the ball on the 20.
Spigarelli, the professor, nicknamed because of his GPA, 4.35 GPA. He's seen some really good quarterbacks in his time, Jake Muir for that matter, but also Ryan Hopkins, who's at Mater Dei right now, the Wisconsin commit 3-star recruit. He's seen a lot of good quarterback play, and he's going to need a lot better quarterback play if Newport wants a chance to get back into this game quick. Spigarelli chased out of the pocket, takes it himself, and gets up for about 2 yards on the QB scramble.
That is good recognition by Spigarelli right there, and that's something you got to do if you're flushed down. And he actually had enough room to possibly run for a little bit more, but the defenders caught on to him. So that's just good pocket awareness, but could have been even better.
One of the big things last week in the Battle of the Bay was Spigarelli apparently was holding on to the ball a little bit too much last week, making some better decisions here. The handoff here on second down to Yamakawa. He can't really get much anywhere. And Takamori, who was here last week, also potentially dealing with an injury. We'll see if he gets into the game at some point. But now another 3rd and down deep in their own territory as Spigarelli backs up, finds his man. That's Palmer. And that's the first down of the game for Newport on offense.
Yeah, very good recognition right there, and Newport needed that one in the worst way. Yeah.
Put it over a few defenders right in the middle of the field. First down conversion. Spigarelli now takes a snap. Tosses it down to Stremick. Immediately met. It's Ty Smith with the tackle to bring him down, but a short gain of about a yard. 2nd down and 9 now.
Yeah, this San Juan Hills team is just really good offensively and defensively. They've got some big boys up front.
Spigarelli on 2nd down. 4-man rush. Has to take it down the field for a few yards. It's Ryan Palmer again. But it's a short gain of about 3 on that reception. And now a much more manageable 3rd and 6 as the tar pit tosses the pink pixie dust into the air, essentially.
Yeah, I think it might have been like the chalk toss from LeBron James and whatnot.
3rd down. Spigarelli gets hit as he throws, looking for Merrick over his head. And that's a stop for San Juan Hills.
Unless Newport Harbor wants to roll the dice, but at this point, it's still too early to go for it on 4th down.
So another punt on the way here for Daniel Rico. And for the 4th time tonight, and hoping for a good snap here again. Let's see if he can try to put the San Juan Hills Stallions deep in their own territory now this time. Pretty good punt by Rico. Frith makes the catch. There he goes, finding the outside corner and brought down to the ground by Newport. It's Cade Clark on the tackle, and San Juan Hills will start at around the 38-yard line up to the 43-yard line. A pretty generous spot there for the return man.
Absolutely, and it was a good punt, too. So at least Newport Harbor is pinning San Juan Hills not in Newport Harbor territory. They're preventing them from not getting into Newport Harbor territory. So again, Newport Harbor, they really got to get a big play defensively, whether it's just setting the tone or just making sure that San Juan Hills doesn't get those big chunk plays.
So not the purple haze, but the pink haze covering the field at Newport Harbor here at Davidson Field. And San Juan Hills' next drive, 24 answer points, trying to add some more to that board as Ayala goes in motion. Over the top. A lot of contact there, and there's a flag on James Callahan, most likely for holding.
That or pass interference. We shall see what the call is, but it feels like this is going to be either close to a 1st down or it's pass interference. The forbidden act.
Max Nuremberg, the intended receiver, only has 1 reception this year, was the intended target. And you can see on the replay a little too much holding on that back waistline by James Callahan.
And Newport Harbor just can't gift their opponent any more of these 1st downs or these big splash plays. So, and now San Juan Hills is officially in Newport Harbor territory yet again.
San Juan Hills moves up 15 yards thanks to the penalty. Essentially starting in Newport Harbor's territory as goes deep once again. And this time he overshoots Luke Frith. And there on the coverage, Trevor Glynn. Incomplete.
So that is his first incompletion of the game, other than the pass interference call from the previous play. So a little bit of a rare mistake. I think if Frith got one more step on that defender, he might have had a score or at least a catch. But unfortunately, Her just overthrew his his receiver.
Second down after the incompletion. Now it's a handoff to Ayala on the halfback draw as he gets up and dives forward for about 4 yards.
Yeah, interesting play right there to run it on second down, but San Juan Hills has the momentum right now, and they just got to do what they can to just keep these yards turning. And Newport Harbor, again, they just got to be on their A game. I think it would have been a little bit obvious to pass it 2 times in a row.
Newport Harbor, who can potentially get their first stop of the night. Pressure by Hatfield, but he's able to find Nuremberg, and he will be tackled out of bounds. It looks like he will have the first down on that play.
Yeah, I think he's going to get it just barely. Yeah. It's going to be a gain of 8.
Nuremberg with the first down conversion on third down and long for the San Juan Hill Stallions. Looks like there's a timeout on the field here. I believe it's for the clock potentially before San Juan Hills gets back on here. So Newport Harbor with almost a potential stop there. They had Hatfield there with the pressure, who's had 4 hurries this season. No sacks yet, but almost had the stop there, but good job by her to stay there and stay with it to Nuremberg. And now a handoff to Ayala. He's got a wide open hole all the way up, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown Stallions.
Oh, man, that is just great blocking by the offensive line. As Charlie T. Gantfort, the Marina football coach, would say, no line, no shine. And that line is shining right now. Unfortunately for Newport Harbor, this is just another one of those weaknesses in terms of stopping the run. They have to find a way to keep your eyes on the ball and make sure you stop the runner.
A 30-plus yard rushing touchdown for Ayala.
31 by my count.
And now his 8th touchdown overall on the season. 3 receiving touchdowns now, 5 rushing touchdowns. As extra point is good for Kyle Donahue. 31 unanswered points up on the board, and we haven't even gotten to the end of the first quarter yet.
This is eerily looking like the Villa Park game from last year for Newport Harbor. Just getting off to a horrible start offensively and defensively, except San Juan Hills, they're making Newport Harbor pay and then some, because their offense is on a heater right now. And this is what San Juan Hills needs, just because they're still in the race for the Bravo League Championship. It's just that they may need some help along the way. A big matchup tonight is Villa Park Corona Del Mar, and the Week 10 matchup between Yorba Linda and Corona Del Mar going to also be big.
Yorba Linda playing Tesoro High School tonight in the Bravo League play. Yorba Linda has been very solid through the very early parts of this season, but starting to show signs of weaknesses on the offensive front. San Juan Hills looking like they want this Bravo League title badly, but CDM obviously holds the top of the standings right now. And this is uncharacteristic from Newport Harbor so far. Besides the Battle of the Bay game, every single game so far this season has been determined by 1 possession.
Absolutely, and like I said, that plus 16 in the point differential, that's in jeopardy tonight.
The touchback in the end zone for Trevor Glidden. Newport will come out to the 20-yard line. Start off once again, needing points up on the board. Still a lot of ball game left, but it's starting to stray away from them just a little bit here, behind by 31 points.
Yeah, I don't even remember the last time a team came back from 31 points down. But Newport Harbor has the chance to make history, but they're going to have to play practically flawless at this point.
We'll try again. Only 1 first down conversion so far tonight on offense. Handoff to Yamakawa as he dives forward for a few yards. Gain of 2.
It's his first gain of positive yards, as this previous 3 runs were just zeros. So good to see the running back finally getting something going here. Looks like that's a gain of 3 officially.
He's been averaging 3.6 yards per carry so far this season. Coming into this one, 160 yards. Still looking for that first touchdown of the season. He has one in his career. The second down and 7 for Newport. Spigarelli chased out of the pocket. Has a wide open pocket there on the outside as he turns the corner and steps out of play. Good read there by Spigarelli.
Yeah, that would have been disastrous because he bobbled the snap, but thankfully he was able to turn nothing into something. But hopefully for his sake, it looks like the spot wasn't all that nice. So still 3rd and short, but man, that's not the most generous spot if you're Newport Harbor.
3rd and short, 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Man in motion is Stremick. Yamakawa gets the handoff. Initially met, and they're going to whistle it dead before he can be thrown down to the ground late. But regardless, Newport short once again as the clock will run down to the end of the first quarter. The San Juan Hills, 31 points up, unanswered in the first quarter. We'll take a break as we go to the second quarter here at Davidson Field. Newport needing a good drive in just a few. Welcome back here to Davidson Field for the second quarter on TAR TV Sports. San Juan Hills up 31 points to Newport Harbor 0. And just before it, 4th down and another high snap as Rico takes it in the end zone and tries to come out, and he's tackled there for another safety, the second one of the night. So San Juan Hills starts off the second quarter with 2 more points up on the board, and this is just getting out of sorts for the Tars right now.
Yeah, this is, I'm going to put this nicely, just not one of, it's one of those, going to be one of those games. And San Juan Hills, they're just looking really good. But this is not a reflection of Newport Harbor as a whole. I just think that they're just running into a buzzsaw. They just can't catch any breaks. And San Juan Hills is just socking it to them. And there's no nicer way of putting it.
Right now, you talked about the Battle of the Bay and what those repercussions, the hangover, yeah. Seems like that's kind of what's happening here right now. But Newport Harbor will kick away once again. 33 points up on the board for San Juan Hills, and they'll get the ball back again. Rico kicks it away. High kick. Taken for the up man. Polanzinski goes up and gets through right about the 42-yard line of San Juan Hills. Another great field position for the Stallions. This San Juan Hills football team coming into this game, 1,700 passing yards, 15 yards per play, 243 yards passing for Timmy Herr in the air, and on the ground, 1,100 rush yards, 6 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns, and Ayala with 200-plus rushing yard games so far this season.
Yeah, this San Juan Hills offense is just explosive as always. And look at that, Timmy Herr is taking off.
Takes it himself and pulls his way through a few Newport Tars, and he gets up for about 6 yards on that carry.
Yeah, this is what Timmy Herr can do. He can if his rusher isn't there, if there's no one available to throw to, then he's able to take off and use his legs. That's his first carry of the night.
San Juan Hills can pretty much just run the ball as much as they want here, and Herr goes to the air instead,
oh my
and
goodness,
high points the ball to Kolinzinski, who makes a over-the-head catch.
Oh, man, what a great catch by Kolinzinski. Like, how you don't even practice that. That is just bananas right there.
Timmy Herr got met right there in the pocket too, just threw it up there for Kolinzinski. Those are the types of throws you practice every week, and that connection between receivers is something you can't really coach to a lot of players.
That was a gain of like 23 on that last one.
Herr looking for anybody, just takes himself and tackled out of bounds by Cruz Marcella.
Yep, again, Timmy Herr can really run with the ball. He can throw the ball. He's just the perfect package in terms of quarterback. And it reminds you a little of Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen.
I'm glad he didn't say Patrick Mahomes there. We didn't want to go with the Collinsworth reference there.
Yes, now here's a guy that knows how to play ball in the Bravo League. Looks like it is going to be first down, so it looks like they're going to give him the first down.
The first down from the 21-yard line of Newport Harbor. And Timmy Herr taken himself a few times this drive, but that's typically what he does as a dual-threat quarterback, as they hand off to Ayala, who was met initially, and finally Hatfield is able to bring him down for a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, this San Juan Hills team loves to run the ball. They love to utilize the run game, and Ayala just continues his big night for the moment. He's got over 50 yards by my count. Would not be surprised if that's official.
Timmy Herr, clean pocket, low ball thrown, finds Kolinzinski, who's been his #1 target tonight, cuts up through the middle of the field for another first down. It'll be first down and goal for the Stallions.
Wouldn't call him the favorite target of the night, but that was his second catch, and he's starting to creep up on Matheson.
Timmy Herr now bounces out of the pocket, avoided a few tackles, and gets inside the 5, down to the 2.
It's like that is a gain of 4 on that play, but yeah, Herr just continues to. This was sick right here. You look on the instant replay, it looks like he's about to get sacked, but he bounces off like he's playing pinball and whatnot, and he puts his team. What could have been a loss is a massive gain.
Timmy Herr takes it himself, tries to stiff arm him in, and his helmet comes off, flags up in the air. No call. They'll probably call him short because his helmet came off before he went into the end zone. And meanwhile, another Tar player on the ground.
Might have gotten the wind knocked out of his sails. That's Baranowski, which looks like he's up.
Ripped it off right there. Bill Hancock ripped the helmet off of Timmy Herr. The flag comes there, so likely, potentially a face mask call against.
Face mask or horse collar.
Against Bill Hancock there, with Baranowski holding on to Timmy Herr, trying to prevent him from getting into the end zone again. How about Timmy Herr pulling a Jason Witten?
Yeah, he was not willing to go down by any means. Unfortunately, that's just how the rules, that's just the new rules, and that is a face mask.
Timmy Herr up there with the likes of Luke Fahey of Mission Viejo High School. That talent at San Juan Hills has been developed through the last 3 seasons that Timmy Herr has taken over at quarterback. The modern-day transfer in his freshman year found his way here to San Juan Hills and pretty much been the QB1 for the last 3 years. and great consistency there for Coach Frith, who's had himself a share of really good quarterbacks in his program in his time since he took over in 2018. You mentioned Michael Butter Tolfson, who transferred to J-Sarah later on and played at Tustin, now at Arizona State as a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, so I think back to the play, I think it might have been the official game was like 2 or 3, and then the face mask penalty is half the distance. So I think it'll be a repeat of a down, or actually it'll be an automatic first down for San Juan Hills, from what I'm looking at.
Especially if it's a face mask call. That seems like what it's looking like right now. There's still some discussion between the players and the back judge there on the field. Now the head referee coming into the middle of the field. Not sure why there's a timeout here for the moment. Oh. So now from the 1 yard line, Frith in motion. They give it to Ayala, and a wide open hole as Ayala takes it into the end zone for his second trip of the night.
Yeah, unfortunately, Newport Harbor just could not replicate the stop at the 1 yard line that they had last week. This San Juan Hills team is just looking really good, and I think this was the San Juan Hills team that everyone wanted to see against Corona Del Mar. I just think that Corona Del Mar might be the best kept secret in California. They just came on firing on all cylinders. So.
It was seeming like somewhat of a fluke of a game against Corona Del Mar. San Juan Hills has pretty much gone back on this high scoring mark as they have been throughout this entire season so far. On for the extra point, Donahue to put up 40 on the board. That's right through the uprights, 40 unanswered points for San Juan Hills.
Yeah, if you're Newport Harbor, at this point you're just fighting for pride, fighting to just get something on the board. You got to come out with some sort of energy, some sort of momentum and whatnot. That's because you can't get punked on your home floor. You just have to find some sort of momentum, some sort of like big play in your playbook and whatnot. And even if it means having to go through the bottom of the playbook and run some trick plays, got to get something going here because you cannot afford to just make sure the opposing team lets it have it to you on your home field.
The energy seemingly being sucked out here by the Stallions so far in this game. Here's the stat line for the Stallions. Every game this season that they've scored 30 points or more, they pretty much won. Every game that they scored 30 points or less, they pretty much lost throughout their schedule. 40 on the board. It's looking bleak for Newport right now.
Yeah, Newport Harbor really needs to get something going here. Plenty of time left, but honestly, I don't even know the last time a team rallied back from 40 points down.
Donnie here for the kick away. Very good kick. Goes middle of the end zone and in for the touchback. Another Bravo League play. Yorba Linda's up on Tesoro High School 28-0 in the second quarter right now.
And last I checked, Corona Del Mar was up 13-3 on Villa Park. Some had that as a trap game because, like Newport Harbor, Corona Del Mar was on a short week, but the way Corona Del Mar's playing in terms of their game, they're not going to have a Battle of the Bay hangover.
9 minutes left in the first half, 40 points up on the board for the Stallions as Newport Harbor treks back onto the field, needing a consistent drive here. So far, 3 and outs have been the theme of their offense. They've had opportunities, missing a few overthrown balls, run game not being established, and Spigarelli checks down here, taking contact. He gets Stremick, but he's brought down by 3 Stallions in the process, out of bounds for a gain of 1.
Good little pass right there as he just barely got that one off. That San Juan Hills defense is nothing to laugh at. So I think that Spigarelli, this is kind of like a baptism by fire when it comes to this. So I think for Spigarelli, he's really starting to get into the meat and potatoes of this league. as is this entire Newport Harbor team.
2nd and 8 now. 2-yard gain on that last play. Spigarelli stepping up in the pocket, took contact. Now finally brought down by Caden Sander just before he could break free of that first initial tackle. But it's a good gain, now manageable 3rd down.
Absolutely. That is a gain of 5. And Spigarelli is the leading rusher for Newport Harbor as of right now. So Newport Harbor's really got to get something going here in terms of the run game. You just can't be one-dimensional. As my colleague from Sunset Rewind, Mo Pios, would say, if you're one-dimensional, then that is bad news for you.
Spigarelli on 3rd down. Can he convert the 1st down? A man right there almost got the strip, but Spigarelli unable to go anywhere as he's brought down by the entire San Juan Hills front line, essentially.
Well, let's see what the flag is. That flag came from midfield. Was there contact between the defender? Was it on the offense? Referees an inadvertent flag.
Referees are meeting near the ball right now. They're finger pointing at San Juan Hills at the moment.
Oh, it's holding on San Juan Hills. So it's actually their first penalty of the game, and man, that actually comes at a convenient time for Newport Harbor.
Looks like it was a holding call on the secondary of San Juan Hills. So 1st down for Newport Harbor. They'll hold on to the ball here on this drive with 7 minutes 48 left in the 1st half. And Spigarelli really took a big drag down to the ground there by the Stallions on defense.
Yeah, they just can't afford to lose him. They can't afford to lose Spigarelli. They've got Jake Muir out. Spigarelli is out. I can't even imagine who the backup quarter is, or the 3rd-string quarterback is for Newport Harbor.
And including Emiliano Biggie Torres, who had a cast on his leg, no longer has a cast, but he's not dressed out for this game tonight. The big right tackle for the Sailors throughout the season so far. Another big piece that they lost halfway through the season. And it's certainly showing with the limited amount of time that Spigarelli is seeing in the pocket right now. But 1st down after the flag. And Spigarelli takes it in shotgun, steps up in the pocket, goes up, and is able to slide down for 9 yards. So Spigarelli avoids the sack. Another great recognition there in the pocket.
And it looks like they're going to give him the 1st down, so he slid perfectly to get that 1st down.
Another 1st down conversion, about the 2nd or 3rd time tonight for Newport. And they're getting close to midfield, and potentially might be the first time they get into San Juan Hills territory here. We'll see what happens here on this first play after the run by Spigarelli. 3-man rush. Spigarelli throws it over his shoulder. Looked like it was on the ground. They're saying it was complete. Pass to Stremick is complete. Looked like it escaped.
Actually, it looks like it's not complete or incomplete.
It looked like the refs were waving their hands up in the air, but now they're saying it's incomplete.
Yeah, it just barely was offline a little bit. If he had a little bit more time, a little bit more oomph into that pass, I think it's a completion.
That's what it looked like from up here on top of the press box. And Spigarelli on 2nd down finds Merrick at the 50 for progress. He's up at the 50 for a gain of 4.
Yeah, got to get the young guy involved, as he actually has the 2nd most receiving yards. I know that's not saying a lot, but hey, got to get these young pups some experience, especially since he might be one of the receiving threats for next year when McKibben and Palmer return next year.
Spigarelli and Merrick had a pretty good connection at the JV level the last couple weeks, including a touchdown pass by Spigarelli to Merrick in one of the JV games against that recent opponent in Tesoro High School, their JV team, and looks like a timeout on the field.
Looks like it's timeout on called by San Juan.
6 minutes left, 3rd down here for Newport Harbor. Needing to get into San Juan Hills territory. They're right on the cusp at the 50-yard line right now. This San Juan Hills team arguably has a fairly easy schedule the rest of the season. Villa Park next week, and then their rivalry game, the Battle of the Bell against Tesoro High School. That will be at San Juan Hills in the Badlands.
I wouldn't call that Villa Park game an easy game. I think that one could have a lot of implications for Villa Park, especially if they win tonight. I mean, I know Corona Mar last time I checked, they were up on Villa Park, but if Villa Park does play their cards right, I think they could put themselves in a position to finish top 3. Yeah.
Newport Harbor trying to avoid a shutout. Third down. Spigarelli loses the ball on the contact. And looked like Lujano falls on top of it. And Spigarelli got the entire wind knocked out of him. And there's also a flag in the process.
We'll see what that flag is on. That could, though the fumble is confirmed.
Boy,
man, Lujano really knocked the stuffing out of him.
That's 210 pounds coming right at you, Terrence.
And Axel Magando was the one that recovered it. Let's see what the flag is.
Backing up against San Juan Hills. It was after the play as they get the ball back on their first fumble recovery of the season.
So what that flag is a personal foul. That happened after the play. So now, the San Juan Hills will keep the ball as they have it, but they'll get backed up a bit of yards, and 15 to be exact, and they'll have a little bit longer of a field, but they're still in Sailor territory.
Luke Frith in motion, bunch set, and flags on the other side of the field before the snap was taken.
Going to take the assumption that it is a false start. If not, it's offsides. And it looks like it's going to be a false start.
The San Juan Hills team looking like, once again, we talked about how they've been looking like the best offense in the entire Orange County, and for that matter, maybe the secret weapon for California. But like you said, Corona Del Mar, that underrated secret weapon. But San Juan Hills showing off why they have been so good the last 2 seasons. You see on the replay here, looks like the false start is on the line there, but they back up 5 yards. 1st and 15 now. Nuremberg in motion. Hurd takes it, flips it to Ayala. Tries to break one, gets it through indeed, and dives forward for a few yards extra.
Yeah, Newport Harbor did a good job of reading that perfectly. They read that trick play perfectly, and that's what quarterbacks love to do. They love to take off and then they flip it backwards. So good job on Newport Harbor for reading that. Even though it was a gain of 3, it still was a great read by the Sailor defense.
Timmy Hurd, the league MVP of the Bravo League last year. 2nd down and 12. Gives it to Ayala. Breaks through the line. And another free run for Ayala all the way to the end zone. It's a hat trick.
Oh my goodness. This guy is something special. Now here's a guy that loves to run up and down the field like it's a track meet. This guy, Ayala, is just something special. Just look at all that space. That offensive line is just providing way too much space for him. Feels like anyone could probably run through that big of a gap. And San Juan Hills, give them credit. Charlie T. Gantfort said it, the Marina coach, no line, no shine.
They have not taken their foot off the pedal. 46 unanswered points. Might be 47 here on the extra point with 5 minutes and 28 in the first half. Splits the uprights, and San Juan Hills is pouring hot liquid all over Newport Harbor.
Yeah, this is again, this is just one of those games for Newport Harbor. This was going to be one of those clunker games, especially after Battle of the Bay. You know Newport Harbor was going to have that Battle of the Bay hangover, missing a few guys on a short week, not as much time as to prepare for San Juan Hills, as San Juan Hills did have a lot of more time for Newport Harbor. So all Newport Harbor just can do is just dig into their bag of tricks and just try to get some momentum, try to avoid the shutout, play for pride here. You're on your home floor, you're on your home turf. You just can't afford to just let yourself get doormatted by this team.
And a team that looks like they'll most likely be moving up to the Alpha League potentially with the way that they're playing right now. 9-1 last year overall. Their only loss was to a non-California team in Higley from Gilbert, Arizona. They lost 20-25. Their only loss after that was after the regular season in the second round of the CIF, losing to Oaks Christian in the Division II playoffs. They beat Beaumont 34-0 in the first round of CIF. But San Juan Hills trying to get back to the promised land, just like they won CIF Southern Section back in 2019.
That was a pretty special year for San Juan Hills, beating Loyola at their place.
Dick into the end zone. Another touchback. A little bit of chipperness close by there. Luke Garrido getting into the face of San Juan Hills there. Chase Worden.
Yeah, he did. I know frustrations are mounting for Newport Harbor. I know it's tough for them, but they just gotta keep playing to their ability, and they just have to have a cool head and a clear mind. I mean, this sometimes happens in sports, and this sometimes happens in life. You just have one of those days, and all you could just do is just try your hardest to overcome it.
Newport Harbor just needs a stable enough drive to keep the defense for Newport off the field. Yamakawa gets the handoff. Looks like he had a really good hold that time. One of the first few of the night for the young running back as he gets 6 on that carry.
Yeah, that was a good run right there for Yamakawa, and that's what they kind of got to do. They got to get some sort of momentum, some sort of like big splash play, and just make sure that they don't get behind the sticks and they don't like be susceptible to San Juan Hills' defense.
Second down and 4. Yamakawa with another run, dives forward for about 2.
The Newport Harbor's at least getting themselves in a third and manageable instead of like third and medium, third and long. I think that's Newport Harbor's big thing right there. If they could just do that, then I think they can at least find some momentum, get some sort of points in there.
Every single one of these games are pretty much must-wins for Newport Harbor. Yorba Linda would be the next one next week, their homecoming game, and then Villa Park to finish off. Third down and 2, Spigarelli. As Yamakawa empties the pocket, gets the catch, tries to stiff arm one man, and he goes out of bounds.
No, it looks like that's not a horse collar. Some of the Sailor faithful were hoping for a horse collar, but it looks like he got the jersey, and that is actually legal. So
Ethan Falcinella with the tackle there that threw Yamakawa out of bounds. But regardless, Newport Harbor get a first down.
That's what Newport Harbor needs. Just keep stacking them up.
Bigarelli throws it down to Merrick, trying to get through on a slant route. And Stallions, they have really rallied to every offensive player Newport Harbor has had thrown onto the field so far tonight. Merrick gets a gain of 4 to bring up second down.
That was some good effort by Merrick right there, just because it looked like he didn't get too much, but then he had a little bit of an extra effort before getting pushed back. And this young guy, he might have a bright future ahead of him, especially with the receiving core that he's learning after it's returning next year.
Second down and 6. Spigarelli pulls it, he takes it, spins around, and pushed down onto the ground for a gain of about 2.
Yeah, it'll probably be like 1 or 2. Yeah, it's 2.
San Juan Hills throwing out some of their backup players now into the game.
And you got to get out of here as healthy as possible, just because you have Villa Park next week, which is nowhere near a layup, especially since Villa Park has 500 aspirations and maybe top 3 aspirations in the Bravo League.
Spigarelli finds his man Palmer, but he's unable to push the ball over the line of gain, and he's short by about 2.
Yeah,
down.
I mean, I think the Sailor Faithful are encouraging Burns to go for it. And I mean, at this point, you got to do something. If it means go for the tush push, go for the tush push.
Corona Del Mar 14-3 at halftime in Villa Park right now. So
again, that one was going to be closer just because Corona Del Mar's on a short week, and they might have the Battle of the Bay hangover. But honestly, again, they're playing such great football. I mean, is there any doubt they're going to have a Battle of the Bay hangover? No, there's no doubt. They're not going to have a Battle of the Bay hangover. I think that Sea Kings are just playing great football, and it's showing. I mean, you got to give credit to Newport Harbor. Last week and the previous weeks that they unfortunately lost, they've held their own against opponents. I just think tonight was kind of their clunker game. I talk about clunker games that San Juan Hills had. Newport Harbor, this is probably their first clunker game of the night, and it happens to all the better teams. I mean, look at some of the better teams in California, like St. John Bosco, or not St. John Bosco, Mater Dei. They had kind of a clunker game against Corona Centennial, where they turned the ball over 7 times and whatnot. And other teams have had clunker games as well, like La Habra. They kind of had a little bit of a clunker game before nearly rallying just to lose by 5 against Huntington Beach, and so on and so forth. So it looks like Newport Harbor is going for it on 4th down.
4th and 1, just need a yard to move the sticks. Desperation time for the Sailors. Spigarelli takes a snap.
Oh.
Almost threw it to the hands of San Juan Hills. Incomplete. That's a turnover on downs. Connor Merrick, the intended receiver.
Yeah, a good effort on Newport Harbor's part. It was a good idea. I mean, if it weren't for that all-out blitz or that blitz right there, I think Spigarelli could have made a case to try to run for it and get the first down and whatnot. Because I was told he's a fast runner in track and field and whatnot, and he's had times in practice where he's had a lot of bursts of speed. I just think maybe he should have used that burst of speed on that 4th down play. Yeah.
San Juan Hills once again will have starting position inside Newport territory. Can go over 50 points in the game if they get into the end zone. It's a jet sweep for the tight end, Nuremberg, as he gets through just for a little bit, up to about the 40-yard line, gain of 2.
Yeah, and if you heard, Preston Getz is in at quarterback, which that just goes to show that Timmy Herr's night is done, and I think for San Juan Hills, they could start emptying their bench and whatnot.
That's what it seems like they're doing here. They have Gavin Geis now at running back. 3 carries, 34 yards this season. So San Juan Hills recognizing that they pretty much have this game under control right now and saving their starters for the rest of the season and preparing for Villa Park early on. Guest gets the handoff, barrels through, still on his feet. A strong run there by Geis with his first carry of the game.
Nice run right there. First carry of the night for Geis, and it nearly gets the first down. So it's 3rd and medium for San Juan Hills. And they could pretty much just bleed this clock down.
We'll see if they do the running clock in the 3rd and 4th quarter per CIF rules when games are lopsided as such as this one right now. 3rd down and short for San Juan Hills. It's taken by Getz, and he's not able to go anywhere. Back to the line of scrimmage, but it will bring up 4th down.
I'm surprised he didn't try to hand it off, and that was good recognition by Newport Harbor's defense. It looked like Jake Schneeweiss was going to run it up the middle, but to no avail. So now it brings up 4th down.
So San Juan Hills, 4th down, leaving the offense there, seems like.
That or to maybe they'll try to test the foot of Donahue.
Donahue's longest field goal this season, 41 yards. That's his career high as well. He is 9 for 9 on field goals this season, and like we talked about, he's kicked it from 50 yards. Here comes the punt team.
Okay, so it is a delay of game. This is going to be the first 3 and out, let alone punt, of the night for San Juan Hills. But again, this is pretty much with a whole different unit.
Nearly blocked by Newport as the punt gets away. Fair catch at the 10-yard line with 3 seconds on the clock in the first half, as Newport Harbor will most likely take a knee here going into the locker room and pretty much just trying to get some points on the board, avoid a blowout. That seems like the case here for Coach Matt Burns going into the half here. In other news, right now, pretty much the game of the day right now, Centennial versus Murrieta Valley, number 2 and number 10 respectively. 14-14 into halftime right now. A lot of good games around the CIF.
Don't forget about St. John Bosco Santa Margarita. That's kind of a good game right there. That's the quote-unquote de facto game for the Trinity League title, believe it or not.
San Clemente and Mission Viejo in a battle of the Alpha League, 10-10 right now in the second quarter as well. So a lot of really good games in league play as Jake Meir takes the knee from the quarterback spot as Newport Harbor will go into the locker room. San Juan Hills 47 points up on the board, unanswered. Newport Harbor no points on the board as we're off here into halftime on TAR TV Sports. Welcome back after halftime here to Davidson Field on TAR TV Sports. Justin Lee alongside Taryn Rodriguez up here in the booth. It's pretty much been all San Juan Hills here tonight, 47-0 so far. Newport looking for those points. And we saw at that halftime a little bit of fun from the Tar Pit so far during that half, and they're having a lot of fun down there. We'll get back to that in just a few. But Taryn, so far, Ayala with the hat trick so far in this game. And right now, San Juan Hills looking like the team that they've been hyped up to be so far.
Yeah, San Juan Hills is just playing perfectly on all three phases for the most part. I think Newport Harbor, this is just one of those clunker games, and you can't really blame them because they're coming off of a short week. It's a Battle of the Bay hangover. San Juan Hills had a little bit more time to prepare for Newport Harbor than Newport Harbor did for San Juan Hills. So I think for Newport Harbor, this is just one of those games where you just got to flush the film down the drain and just look ahead to next week. But there's still some pride for Newport Harbor to play, and they got to get at least some sort of points because you cannot get blown out at home against a team like this. I mean, San Juan Hills is good, don't get me wrong. They have played great, but unfortunately for Newport Harbor, you just got to find some sort of pride, especially in front of your home crowd, because you only get 2 more home games after this until the end of the season.
And that's exactly what Newport Harbor will be looking for as we get into the second half here. San Juan Hills will get the ball to start things off here in the second half. But so far, they've pretty much kept control of this entire game. And that first quarter seemed like an eternity, with San Juan Hills going up 30-plus points in that first quarter alone and slowing things down in that second quarter. And now here we are. See what things can kind of change. A little bit of funny with Daniel Rico, who's going to kick this ball off and away. Seems like his job is in jeopardy after we saw the Tar Pit students get onto the field during the halftime, kicking some field goals, even someone from 40 yards. And remind you, they were kicking that ball with bands, which is hard enough to do without cleats on a turf field like this. But all jokes aside, they were using a 5-inch tee to kick that thing, and obviously not wearing pads, so it's a whole different story.
And they didn't have anyone coming up the middle. Don't be surprised if they try to onside it. Never mind.
Kicking it away right at the 3. Taking up field. And down just before the 25-yard lines for San Juan Hills. Jake Schneeweiss is in there, the senior, 5'4", 140 pounds on the return there. And San Juan Hills, we saw them toss in their backup players earlier back in that second quarter. Looks like they're going to stay with that same formula here.
Yeah, the more healthy that San Juan Hills gets out of here, the better, especially preparing for a team like Villa Park, who was in a battle with Corona Del Mar. They were down 14-3 at halftime, but honestly, that could change on a dime.
First snap is dropped on the ground, and falling on top of it is the quarterback. And he gets that ball right back on that first snap there, and they'll toss him out. He's not listed on the roster for some reason as Preston gets back on the field, so San Juan Hills almost just gave it right back to Newport.
And that would have been big right there. A loss of 3.
San Juan Hills will pretty much try to run this thing through, and we'll see if the running clock comes into play here. And a pass there from Getz, finding his receiver right there for a good gain. Grayson Johnston.
First catch of the day, or first completion of the day for Getz, and it was a big one.
This San Juan Hills team, last year we talked about where they've had to come through with, that loss to Higley in Gilbert, Arizona. The only time they've lost this season, which was twice, against Corona Del Mar, like we've been talking about. The other one against Rockwall Heath in Texas. They took a trip out to the middle of the USA, and a tackle there on the run, knocked out big by Ethan Ambat, and a flag as well.
Now let's see what the flag is. The holding call on San Juan, so I imagine that might have been the reason why there was a big hole for the runner. So that run gets wiped away, and it'll be a 10-yard penalty. So
would have been a 20-plus yard run for Chase Rasmussen for San Juan Hills, but gets taken back. Now it becomes, instead of a first down conversion, 3rd down and long for San Juan Hills. You got to give a lot of credit to Coach Rob Frith for taking this program. This school is still very young. Was founded early in the 2000s. Coach Rob Frith stepped into a role that really hadn't found its grounding until that 2019 run that they had to win the Southern Section. And a touchdown in the middle and picked off by Baranowski. There's a flag behind it, but Baranowski gets through 1, gets through 2, gets through 3, into the end zone, touchdown.
Well, let's see what the flag is.
That was wide open, free for Baranowski. Let's see what the flag is just here. What a return there by Baranowski, even if this gets called back anyways. What an effort.
Oh, no. It's a holding call on Newport, which is going to wipe away that pick 6. But, yeah, Baranowski, he actually recently committed to San Diego, and I think even though that got called back, I think he's proven that he deserves to go to San Diego.
Last year he had a sack against Timmy Herr in the matchup from 2024. And just that effort alone, probably one of the best plays we've seen from Clint Baranowski that will not count on his highlight reel. I would put that on my highlight reel if I was him.
Looks like there's a new QB in that quarterback. His name was like Brandon Appleroy.
Not on my roster sheet for some reason.
Number 19, it looks like.
We're going to name him John Doe for now. So San Juan Hills get the ball back. They push the ball about pretty much 5 yards up. 10 yards, 3rd down and 2 for San Juan Hills. Takes away the Massive pick six by Baranowski. They're not going with the running clock here in the third quarter right now. See if Newport can get a stop right here. Handoff. Big hit by Baranowski and piled on by Newport. He is beyond the line to gain. And it will be a first down for San Juan Hills.
That's just some hard running by the Stallions. And God give them. That's just great hard running right there. And that was 26 on that carry.
Chase Rasmussen Jr., 6 foot,
Rasmussen.
175 pounds on that run. First down for the Stallions. Preston gets back into the game at the quarterback spot. Another handoff and brought down to the ground. Owen Baldakowski dragged him down to the floor.
And that was a good read right there by Baldakowski, dropping him for 1 yard loss on that play.
His second tackle for loss this season puts back the Stallions a little bit further. And Rob Frith looking like it's going to be his 101st win of his career since taking the starting role job as head coach at San Juan Hills. Once upon a time, used to be the El Toro High School head coach from 2009 to 14. Had a 40-18 overall record in his years there. 5 out of 6 of those years, he took the Chargers to the playoffs. Roll out by number 19, Baranowski, right there as he knocks him down.
Ooh, did he get that?
Catch near the sideline.
Oh, man, he did.
We're going to say that's complete. Wow. No, they changed it back instead. The judge from the backside ruled it incomplete. It was third down and 11.
Still would have been a great catch right there, but unfortunately to no avail.
Rob Frith, who's been around this Orange County area, went to San Clemente High School, played football, baseball, went to Saddleback College, then went to Whittier College, played football there and baseball. And this is how great of an athlete he is. 2001 Male Athlete of the Year. Throw here by Getz on third down. Initial tackle broken by Schneeweiss as he gets through for a gain of about 5, but short of the first down by 5 yards. And San Juan Hills will punt away. And Rob Frith, his time at Whittier, he's now in the Hall of Fame for the Poets. 2014 inductee. He holds the records for career doubles, home runs, RBIs, total bases, walks, on-base percentage, and complete games, 11 in total at Whittier. So a long track record for Rob Frith, who's really brought this program into the national scene as well. Get to that in a second as the punt is away for Gentile. Fair catch called by Palmer.
Yeah, and you know a football program that's on the rise and that's on its way back, Whittier.
They announced that they're bringing their football program back in 2026 to the SCIAC, including that addition of Azusa Pacific, who once was a Division II football program. Now they're bringing their football program back, but moving down to Division III to compete with the likes of Chapman University, Cal Lutheran, and all those schools in the greater area of California.
Yep. Sunset Rewind, we managed to get an interview with their head coach, which was a very great interview and just an idea for those that want to play at the next level.
Division III, rarely do you find a Division III football player at the NFL level, as the first pass there by Spigarelli is dropped by his intended receiver. Stringham dropped the pass right there on the slant route, second down and 10. Going back to that point about Division III sports, it is very rarely, mostly you'll see it with a lot of the bigger schools like Whitewater and whatnot. You talked about some of the players that have come through those programs like St. John and much more. Chapman University has had a few players like that, but a lot of those Division III players actually go to play in international levels like Germany, by the way. As the pass is complete there. Stremick gets the pass, brings it up for about 4 yards. Third down and about 5. Spigarelli trying to get into a rhythm to see if he can get points on the board.
Yeah, like I said, just got to get some sort of points just so you don't get shut out at home.
With third down and 5, Spigarelli, good pocket, stepping up. Secondary in the backside, slides down, takes some contact, but he's got enough for the first down.
And that's good recognition on the slide and initializing the slide. As he got 7 on that play, and that'll be a first down.
One of the very few first downs that we've seen from Newport Harbor tonight, thanks to Jordan Spigarelli's scramble. Right now, San Clemente losing to Mission Viejo 13-3 in the third quarter. Another tight game in the Alpha League.
I'm really interested to see what the Bravo League match between Phillip Park and CDM will be.
Spigarelli avoids the sack, goes up for a small gain.
Yeah, good recognition by Spigarelli. At least he's trying to get out of getting sacked, and he's not standing there like a statue waiting to get sacked. Because last week he got sacked 7 times. Yeah, unfortunately, last week was a bad week to make Corona Del Mar look like the '85 Bears defense.
Speaking of college football, not the NFL, college football, we saw this in halftime, but a big upset earlier today. As the handoff to Yamakawa as he gets a 10-plus carry there. One of the few that we've seen tonight as he gets the first down. Another conversion for Newport.
Yeah, second 10-plus carry right there for the Sailors.
Referring to the Miami game from tonight, but here you see on the replay.
That was for like 15 yards.
A good carry there by Yamakawa. Louisville beating Miami, number 2 in the nation, 24-21. A massive upset that will send ripples into the college football world. As Spigarelli takes the first down after the run by Yamakawa, finds a 10-plus reception down to Ty Ditto, who's got his 3rd one of the season. Another first down conversion.
Well, Newport Harbor's starting to string it together, trying to make their way into San Juan Hills territory, or deeper into San Juan Hills territory.
Running clock now with first down and 10 after the catch by Ty Ditto. Newport Harbor has the primary front starters still in the field, and San Juan Hills has most of their backups into the game right now. Hand off to Yamakawa. Bursting through a small opening in the line. Gets about 4 or 5 yards on that carry.
4. 4 is the official spot.
I'm always impressed to see what student sections around high school football will do. The number 2 student section of the year in Orange County, the Tar Pit, last year as they were named. You can see some of the special effects that they have in their section. Even have a desk with 2 monitors to run the lights. I've never seen that in my life before. As Spigarelli takes the second down, hands it to Stremick, passing it through, breaks a tackle, and finally met down by the Stallions, but he's got enough for a first down.
Good for a first down.
And that's good. That's good recognition by Stremick right there, just keeping himself aware of the defenders and whatnot. I think that's just great, presence on his part.
Now we'll see if the Sailors can get into the end zone for the first time tonight. They're putting on a good drive here in the third quarter. You see on the replay to Stremick. Good recognition. First down after the pass. Spigarelli over the top, and he's got Ditto in the end zone. Stayed focused with it, and hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, that was a great catch right there. Had a little bit of contact right there, but he was able to hold on. Absolutely amazing. And there you go. No shutouts here.
Ty Ditto with his first touchdown of his young career in his final season with Newport Harbor. That's a big moment for the senior, 5'9", 160 pounds, to get his first touchdown of the year. Spigarelli put that on the line. Great throw. Rico puts it and splits the uprights. First points on the board, 47-7 for San Juan Hills.
And there you go. That's basically just playing for pride right there. I know the final score doesn't reflect it, but Newport Harbor, they want to give some of their fans or the remaining Sailor faithful something to cheer about, especially since you have a clunker game like this. So.
Really good pass there, as you see on the replay. Beats Miles Meltzer on that pass, the sophomore, 5'7", for Ty Ditto's first touchdown of the season and his entire career here at Newport Harbor. Take a look around the Bravo League. Tesoro High School has finally gotten into the end zone for the first time tonight. 42-7, Yorba Linda over Tesoro right now in the fourth quarter. Corona Del Mar up 21-3 over Villa Park in the fourth quarter right now.
You have to be really impressed with Corona Del Mar. Again, short week, a little bit of a risk of a Battle of the Bay hangover, but they have just been piecing things together. I think the Week 10 matchup between they and Yorba Linda will be the de facto matchup.
Kickoff by Rico. Finds Schneeweiss as he turns up and gets through the 25 up to the 27 on the return.
Yeah, I expect San Juan Hills to try to milk this clock even further. I don't think they're going to be passing this a whole lot. They want to get out of here as healthy as possible with most of their team intact. No fights, no big-time injuries and whatnot. They want to get back to the Badlands with most of their team intact, as healthy as possible.
Let's take a look at some of the Sunset League games right now. Huntington Beach up 14-0 over Foothill in a fairly low-scoring game right now.
That's kind of a trap game right there for Huntington. I think Huntington coming off of that big win over La Habra. I think that's also in the risk of a letdown spot right there, but they're doing a solid job.
Orange Lutheran having a bounce-back game, 49-10 right now over J. Sarah. Looks like they're in the third quarter right now. Here's a first play. After the kickoff, pass on play action. Finds Schneeweiss. And brought down by Callahan Met, and Sailors piling everywhere around Schneeweiss, and now they finally blow the whistle. Seemed like an eternity before they blew that thing dead.
Yeah, and that was 19 on that pass. His first completion right there, and it'll be exactly a first down. Actually, no, it looks like it's barely not a first, barely.
Bishop Union Hill still duking it out with San Clemente, still 13-10 right now in the third quarter.
San Clemente always plays Mission Viejo tough. I think that's an underrated matchup. San Clemente isn't the San Clemente in years past, but Mission Viejo's had some question marks, especially with the availability of Vance Spafford, their top wide receiver. He was a game-time decision from what I heard.
Mission Viejo has had some issues keeping a few of their best players healthy so far this season. As they go with the jet sweep here to Schneeweiss, cuts back through and way enough for the first down past midfield. San Juan Hills continues to put it through.
Yeah, San Juan Hills just seems to have a lot of depth offensively. Yeah?
And this seems like San Juan Hills' season to really try to go for it and put all their marbles on the table, because the mass chunk of their roster is in their senior year. Timmy Herr in his final year, Ayala in his senior year, Cove Davis in his senior year, Colin Zinski in his senior year. A lot of the O-line players also in their senior year. Cooper Jaworski, who we talked about early on, and including their special teams. The only players that will be returning, Ryan Matson and Luke Frith, not to name a few. Cooper Chila, who's had a touchdown tonight. So San Juan Hills, this is pretty much their season to try to get. Flag on the play.
Oh boy!
As they hand off and tripped up.
2 flags.
Just
might be
past the
offsides
sticks.
or might be holding. Sorry.
There's 3 flags on the field right now, so if anyone didn't see any of those flags, not sure what you were looking at.
looks like it was holding on San Juan Hills.
Newport Harbor, though, they have a lot to be hopeful for, though. When you look at the offense, and we did talk about this early on this season, Spigarelli will be here. Matthew Amakan will be here next year. Stremick will be here. McKibben is just a junior. Palmer as well. Wyatt Wilson, Connor Merrick. You have all these offensive pieces who will be back here. The question would just be the offensive line and potentially depth at that quarterback position.
And also the defense as well.
Baranowski will be leaving. Callahan, Glenn, Ambat. The chunk of their secondary will be gone. Marcelo, who's been so good this season with the team leading 4 sacks on the season, has caused a lot of fumbles in his senior year. He'll be moving on. Godbald's looking like he'll be a solid player next year for Newport. He'll be coming back. Stremick will be around. Baldakowski will be around as they bring this ball all the way back.
Might have been a holding and then personal foul. Oof.
Instead of a big run across the field at midpoint, San Juan Hills gets backed up all the way for about 35 yards away from the marker.
35. You do not have a whole lot in the playbook for that.
San Juan Hills looking to go across the Pacific Ocean. They're on 1st down and 35. And off to the back, cutting up field, breaks one tackle, stays on his feet, still up there on his twos, and finally brought down to about the 41-yard line of San Juan Hills. Great run there by Nikos Ioha.
Oh, man, he looked a little like Lenny Ibarra from yesterday of Los Alamitos. Just a lot of players trying to bring him down, but to no avail. So got to give him credit on that strong run.
By the way, how scary does that Los Alamitos team look? You have Ibarra, right, and like you talked about, and then you have Tillis there at the running back position. Both,
Camden Tillis.
They've been so good this season for the Griffins, and not to mention Colin Creason, who's had some really good runs at that quarterback spot.
Mm-hmm.
Handoff, gain of about 6, 3rd down, and still way long for the San Juan Hills Stallions. Cutting through within less than 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter as the clock continues to run.
3rd and 20. You don't have a whole lot in the playbook for 3rd and 20 unless it's go deep.
Taking their time here with the clock running down. Preston gets. Put Schneeweiss in motion.
Ooh.
Tries a screen pass, but way left of his intended target, incomplete. Carter Peterson, the intended receiver there, 4th down, as the Stallions will punt it away with Palmer coming to receive the punt here.
So what looked like it was going to be a promising drive for San Juan Hills will result in a punt. But again, we can cut them a break since it is just some their second stringers and whatnot. If I'm San Juan, I'm keeping some of their plays hidden so that they don't give out too much information on the film.
Especially when we get closer to the playoffs here with San Juan Hills getting prepared for Villa Park, and then their big rivalry to end the season, Battle of the Bell versus Tesoro High School. Pretty much have nothing left to lose on this season, so they could definitely try to put out as much effort against the San Juan Hills Stallions as they are willing to before the playoffs get through.
And think about it. San Juan Hills runs the table, and then Yorba Linda beats Corona Del Mar on the final week of the regular season. That's a 3-way tie for first place in the Bravo League, which would have implications on who would move up in the Bravo League. I think San Juan Hills is still pretty much a fair lock for moving up to the Alpha League, but if Corona Del Mar runs the table in the Bravo League, do they move up? And they're senior heavy too.
Pass here. Finds his man. Palmer with the reception. Stiff arms one. Goes out of bounds. Spigarelli, just like the Battle of the Bay, we saw this a lot in his ability to really put the ball on his intended targets on short passes. We've seen a long ball tonight from Spigarelli, but again, this is just a preview of what 2026 will look like for the Sailors if everyone decides to stay here with the program. Spigarelli will be here for sure since transferring from J. Serra. Spigarelli takes a deep ball and missed it upstairs. Flag on the play.
That one will either be, it's most likely going to be pass interference on the defense, yes.
This will give Newport Harbor a first down as they move the sticks thanks to the pass interference call. The San Juan Hills team missing a lot of the big defensive players that they had last year that limited 20 points per game. They're letting up 24 points per game this season, but surely this will bring down that average after this if things stay the same. As Spigarelli tosses it down to Merrick just beyond the line of gain. Another first down.
Yep, got to get those young pups some receptions, especially for the future. I think Merrick has a bright future ahead of him when it comes to Newport Harbor football. If he can just stay the course, I think he'll have a lot of success going forward.
Could be a very good receiving core next year with Stremick, Palmer, Wilson, and Merrick. You could just imagine it, and not to forget Shane McKibben as well, who has been the wide receiver one so far this season, though obviously not in the game right now, but 546 yards this season, 5 touchdowns, 31 receptions. And that's the end of the third quarter. We'll come right back here on TAR TV Sports, 47-7. San Juan Hills still have the lead. Back here on TAR TV Sports, San Juan Hills 47, Newport Sailors 7 right now as they have put the first points on the board back in the third quarter. Thanks to some great throwing by Spigarelli here on first down. Finds Merrick once again, spinning around but brought down by the Stallions quickly here in the fourth quarter, the start here. So Newport Harbor essentially will try to do their best to play spoiler with the last 2 games of the season on tab here, Taryn.
Yeah, next week is homecoming for Newport Harbor, and hopefully for their sake, they just flush this game down the toilet and just look forward to Yorba Linda. I mean, Yorba Linda they were having their way with Tesoro, but I think for Yorba Linda, it's going to be another uphill climb.
Yamakawa gets the handoff, dives forward for gaining about 4 or 5 yards, third down and 2. Into San Juan Hills territory at the moment. San Juan Hills, their only big, massive player on that defensive side, Roland Paseka, 3-star athlete as rated by 247 Sports. San Diego State commit, 14 tackles for loss, leading on the team as Spigarelli finds his man over the top, beyond the line of gain and more for the first down once again.
Looks like they are running the clock.
Maddox Como with the reception there, the sophomore, 5'8". Gets the first down.
I think that was a gain of 21 on the play.
First down and 10 for the Sailors. Spigarelli pulls it, throws it over the top. There was a little bit of contact there on that play, but incomplete nonetheless.
That actually snapped a 8 completion pass streak on that one. That incompletion snapped a 8 pass completion streak right there.
Parker Stringham, the intended target on that pass play. The sophomore, 6'2", 180 pounds, right there at the outside receiver spot.
And something to note about this San Juan Hills team, I think this guy was on the 2019 team, Sean Ryan, who is now playing for the Green Bay Packers. He came from UCLA. He was one of the notable San Juan Hills alumni that my cohorts and I talked on Sunset Rewind.
Just before that, the pass complete for a manageable third down now here for the Sailors. Now, that's one of the names for San Juan Hills that's really put them on the national scene with Sean Ryan, a 4-star recruit coming out of San Juan Hills, #1 O-lineman in California. Like you talked about UCLA, as Spigarelli brings it down, spinning around, bouncing up, gets enough for the first down. Or Newport Harbor, Maddox Como once again. Sean Ryan, class of 2018, third-round pick, 92nd overall, drafted as a right guard. Right now is playing backup for that front O-line in Matt LaFleur's offense, but there to protect Jordan Love as they're trying to get to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, so he was before that, way before that, that 2019 championship team.
Spigarelli, play action, pass dropped on the ground. Intended there for Carter Clark. He drops a wide open hole there. He could have turned around and gone to the end zone if he had that pass. 2nd down and 10. A lot of really big names on the scene for the Stallions. A lot of O-line players, mostly offensive players on that side. Joey Hobart, 3-star, attended Washington State, then transferred to Utah Tech before going to Texas State as Spigarelli takes it himself. Gets brought down by his ankles, dives forward for the first down. It's 1st and goal for the Sailors now.
Yeah, that's the type of playing that we expected from Spigarelli. He's a fast player, and when he's on his A game and when he's like taking off, he becomes a very effective weapon for the Sailors.
Joey Hobart had a sick one-handed catch in one of the games at Texas State. Still an NFL free agent. His father went to Washington, was the Rose Bowl MVP, and had a pretty good NFL career. Spigarelli just tosses it up in the air and out of bounds. And right on the ground, slow to get up is Spigarelli, who took a shot right there.
I think he got sacked. I think he tried to throw it, but he just got sacked just in the nick of time.
But 2nd down and 13 as Spigarelli comes to the sideline.
This is interesting.
They're tossing in the backup here. Let's see who this is. It's Noah Fleming, the sophomore, 5'11", 165 pounds, into the game now.
Oh my.
But Fleming tries to take it himself, rounding the corner, but brought down behind by San Juan Hills. Basically a sack there. Ryder Hoffman with the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a precautionary thing to just get your new starting quarterback out, because you already got one pretty much licking his wounds and trying to get back. They can't afford any more injuries in terms of their offense.
Looked like there was a miscommunication there between Yamakawa and Fleming as well. There's good upside on the freshman team for Newport Harbor. The freshman team was undefeated up until they played San Juan Hills, who pretty much blew them out of the water for their first loss of the season. And San Juan Hills has a undefeated freshman team still, as Fleming goes over the top, one-handed attempt right there on the outside above your screen, incomplete.
That was a good effort right there and good idea right there, but unfortunately it was just broken up. That would have been sick right there.
Sebastian Pearson, the intended target. Now 4th down. Baranowski's onto the field right now. They're going for the field goal.
Yeah.
So Rico will take it from 31 yards out on this attempt. 1 yard short of his longest career field goal.
Oh, someone jumped.
Flag on the play.
Oh, it's offsides on San Juan.
So this brings it a little closer now on 4th and goal. And Daniel Rico will now have it from 26 yards out. He is 2 for 2 this season. Cutting into the lead of San Juan Hills.
Points are at this point.
And he puts it right through the uprights for the Chris Paul moment. 47-10. San Juan Hills still have the lead. 4 minutes, 55 left in the game. So Daniel Rico, now 3 for 3 on field goals this season. His 5th field goal attempt in his career. San Juan Hills has had some really good players recently. Weston Port at UCLA, 3-star freshman. Braden Pekin, a 3-star athlete. Now at Utah State, transferred from UCLA. Tyler Wegas, who went to Boise State, 6'6" defensive end, class of 2019. He was part of that 2019 team. Transfers to Utah, now there. San Juan Hills has actually had some really good quarterbacks in their history, too. Notably, Patrick O'Brien, who was there with the class of 2016, 4-star QB, number 10 quarterback, pro style in California, went to Nebraska, ended his career at Washington. We also talked about Butter Tolfson, who was around for the Stallions for a while in 2 seasons, now at Arizona State. It looks like Timmy Herr is going to be the next in line as the next highly touted recruit. He's got offers from Eastern Carolina and Western Michigan. And surely we'll get a lot more this offseason as the return up to the 25.
So the final score happened in the Bravo League. Corona Del Mar did take down Villa Park 21-3. Pretty impressive. So even though Corona Del Mar only scored 21 points, the 3 points from Villa Park are a low for them. So that defense of Corona Del Mar is really starting to shine, and it's really impressive if you ask me. That means Corona Del Mar is 8-0. They've got Tesoro next week, which don't want to be mean to Tesoro, but I think Corona Del Mar should come into a favorite, because if Corona Del Mar could win on a short week following Battle of the Bay, they should be able to take down Tesoro and set that ever so anticipated showdown with Yorba Linda at Yorba Linda High.
You got to really give it to Coach Kevin Heddick for what he's done with that program this year alone. You think with that type of high confidence, they would fall into a trap game eventually, but right now it just seems like it hasn't been like that for Corona Del Mar. Just that 1-0 mentality has been the big focus for Coach Kevin Heddick.
Looks like we have another quarterback change for San Juan.
Pass complete there on the 1st down play.
Jack Gendreau is in.
Complete to Matt Severino on the reception. Jack Gendrew, familiar name to myself and my brother Ethan Lee, who was once a coach here at San Juan Hills, played on the freshman team for some time. Now a junior, 6 foot, 170 pounds. Looking like he'll be the potential takeover quarterback for Timmy Herr once he graduates, as he hands off here on the run play on 2nd down, enough for the 1st down and more for Brady Ward.
Yeah, this San Juan Hills team has depth, and I imagine their future is bright. With not only this year with the returning players for next year, but with the underlevel teams. You've mentioned their Frostoff team, which handed Newport Harbor's Frostoff their first loss. I think both these programs have bright futures ahead of them.
Not to mention the many names that have come out of Newport Harbor with what they've produced. John Richardson, Josiah Lamarckey, Carson De Avila, Colton Joseph, not to name a few, but a lot of really good players that have come out of this program in itself.
Yeah, Carson Diavola, Josiah Lamarque, a lot of names come back from that 2021 CIF championship team.
And Gendrew will take a knee with 1:25 as San Juan Hills is ready to get onto the buses and head to Villa Park, back at home in the Badlands, try to get a big win, and then set up for Battle of the Bell against Astoria High School. Newport Harbor now ready to play spoiler with homecoming next week against Yorba Linda on October 24th, and then to finish out the season on Halloween night against Villa Park. Yorba Linda next week, and Villa Park at the end.
I think Yorba Linda is going to be on a Thursday, so that's another short week for Newport Harbor, which is not ideal for them. Well, I think that's a short week. We'd have to double check that one, but I'm sure Newport's got another Thursday game lined up.
Coach Rob Fritsch really brought this program out to its light, and they are looking like the team to beat in the Bravo League. But they're going to have to get over that loss against Corona Del Mar and just continue to focus on what they've been doing. And the refs are just going to take the rest of the time off the clock. Final score 47-10. San Juan Hills with a big blowout win here at Davidson Field. Although it was a big blowout here tonight, Spingarelli was able to get into the end zone over in the air for the first time in his young career here at Newport Harbor, and including a field goal as well, so they avoid the blowout. But Taryn, what did you think about this game overall tonight?
Yeah, again, it was a tough day at the office for Newport Harbor, but sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you just have one of those games, and how you respond the rest of the way, you could either just lay down and just say, you know what, we're just not good enough, or you could just fight till the bitter end. Newport Harbor fought to the bitter end, and that pretty much shows that they have spirit and moxie, and they don't want to lose in front of their home crowd. And hopefully they can carry whatever little momentum and moxie to next week, because Yorba Linda is going to be tough. They have aspirations of possibly winning the Bravo League, albeit they might have to share it.
And speaking on that, what did you think overall of San Juan Hills' performance in what could have been a trap game for them here tonight?
So San Juan Hills, obviously this could have been a letdown spot for them just because they're coming off of a big win over Yorba Linda. They could have easily just overlooked Newport Harbor, especially being on the road. But honestly, San Juan Hills had a clear mind, and they really set the tone from the opening snap. I mean, forcing 2 3-and-outs and not allowing Newport Harbor to have too many of those first downs and whatnot was big for me. So I think the San Juan Hills team is going to be dangerous come the playoffs and dangerous the rest of the way. You know?
We'll see how they do on the rest of the season. Newport Harbor will take on Yorba Linda next week. That's going to be it here, 47-10, the final score. And once again, for TAR TV Sports, Justin Lee alongside Taryn Rodriguez. So, as always, thanks for tuning in here. Be sure to check out our broadcast schedule by following at TAR TV Sports on Instagram for updates. Next week, we'll be here for that game against Yorba Linda at 7 p.m., like we said. For all of us here at TAR TV Sports, we thank you for being with us here at Davidson Field for this presentation of Newport Harbor Sailors versus the San Juan Hills Stallions. We will see you next week. As we say to our friends and family at home, good night from Newport Beach.
See you next week for home.